What's up, traders? Welcome back. Yes, back to another video. It's been a minute since I posted on here. It's been a very, draining few months, and yeah, I am back with a trading recap. You guessed it right. So, back with another trading recap, and I'm just gonna take you through. I just thought that I would get back into, posting my videos, even though I had fallen off track. I definitely think that this week is. I just said, you know what? Yeah, let me just pick myself back up. Because I have to keep going. So this is going to be a very quick trading recap. I'm going to be breaking down all the trades that I took. If you guys find this insightful, don't forget to share this video with your loved ones, as well as subscribe to their channel, because I'm going to be bringing banger after banger after banger, Right, so let's get right into it. This was the first trade that I took in the week. Coming into the day, was actually anticipating bullish prices because price had moved from 2.5k to 2.4k, thereabout, close to 2.5k, and we traded all the way to 2.6k, 2.6.2k in running above without any retracements below. So one thing I've learned, if you're trading the all-time highs in it, the thing to do is to be bullish until you're proven wrong by the market. So I came into the trading session anticipating higher prices because I was bullish until I was proven. So you can see the new week opening gap that we had. The gap was over 200 points in that day, and we just kept on pumping. And if you can notice, we have this suspension block that I'll be talking more about as the days unfold. But yeah, that is my approach for the day coming into Wednesday's AM trading session for the Nasdaq. So moving on, of course, being that I'm bullish, I really wanted to see, are we trading back into some level of sell side liquidity before we can actually push back above? So that is how I was now able to annotate this bit bullish dealing rate the price had currently created. And overall, my draw on liquidity was to get price to get to these all-time highs, because I definitely think the price will continue creating all-time highs. And my goal for the day was to actually align myself with what price was actually putting. So I came into the session and noticed that we were currently in this range. Of course, this is just a few minutes before the market open, so that is why I have this annotation from the time frame. So moving down onto the 15 time frame, this is where price action literally gets clearer. We can see that we multiply found support at this. We multiply found support higher at this all-time high that we previously had. We took it out, you can see, and price just kept on coming back, pushing above, traded back, made a retracement. But you notice, why do I say that you found support at this level? Because we traded back into this level, and you notice that we don't have any body disclosure below. That's again something that made me really think that price is really interested in pushing back higher. And also I noticed this order block. Why do I say it's an order block? Because we have a high, lower low, and then we displace that high. And you notice that price traded to the consequent encroachment of this bearish order block, which at this point now becomes our breaker block, because we want to see price invert its function from being a bearish order block to be used as an inversion higher for the higher prices that I was initially seeking. So we see price traded back into this, the consequent encroachment. Notice how the bodies are not really displacing lower and are just pushing above. So that was when I saw that that is going to be, this leg was our change in state of delivery, and we created this bullish range. We traded back. Notice how we traded back into the previous days a midnight opening price, because one thing that I've learned is that the midnight opening price is a very sensitive point for the market to make a turnaround, or it's a very sensitive point where the market is bound to react from. It doesn't matter if it's the previous day's midnight opening price level. Price will always have reaction from there. I mean, you can go check it out for yourselves, but for me, from my learning, that is something that I have really learned. So price coming back to the previous day's opening, midnight opening price, and not displacing below it is something else that I wanted to see. I was just looking and I was like, okay, since I'm bullish, I want to see price manipulate the opposing liquidity and then respect the PDA rates that will lead us to bullish prices. So that's all I'm ever looking at if I'm coming to a trading session. So of course, after seeing that, and we also had these lows, you can notice this minor low that was taken out prior to the previous day's midnight open price. Moving on right now, this is what I said because we had seen all that confirmation from 1 hour time frame. I wanted to see sell side liquidity get purged right before the midnight, right before the market open. I wanted to see do we avoid opposing liquidity before actually moving, because you can see that where I have this eye is where my drawn liquidity was for the day, and you can notice this is a much clearer price manipulation of these lows, and price immediately changed its structure and pushed above. So that's what I wanted to see, is that I wanted to see how price would take liquidity or even trade below the midnight opening price for liquidity that we can later use to fuel back higher to this draw that I was seeing. And we can also see that we have relative highs here that I wanted to see price take out, relative highs as well here, and relative highs here. And that was what I saw. So now at market open, I saw that we had sell side liquidity because I touched off this level, this low as well. And I told myself that I want to see price take out any of this liquidity levels. So in the sense that we do take out these levels, I want to see it continue pushing back above, because normally I'm going to be a buyer for the day. I want to see the opposite liquidity get voided. So I wanted to see sell side liquidity sweep first before we actually continued for buy side liquidity. And seeing that we had this price open, after market open, we took out these lows. Of course, if it had gone lower, I wouldn't mind that. But we went back to the first presentation without actually trading back all the way down here. I was okay as long as this level that I wanted to see was taken out. And that's exactly what I saw immediately. I saw that price was taken out at this level. I then waited. This time I was really patient and I said, okay, because price action has been very choppy in the market open, that's when I said, okay, let me annotate the macro to see how price is going to move, because usually in the macros, I honestly expect one of two things, either manipulation or distribution. So that is what I was anticipating for the market open at the macro. So I wanted to see price trade back above the first presentation fair value gap, which it did. The first presentation fair value gap Wednesday was really, really small. It was really small, but for me that doesn't matter because I want to use the first presentation. I'm not going to say, okay, this is going to be my first presentation just because it's visible. It doesn't matter how small the first presentation is. I'm only going to refer to the first presentation and not pick one of my choice. So that is exactly what I saw price do. And we also had this volume imbalance, so you notice how price traded back into this volume imbalance. But notice the candle bodies are not really displacing below, just traded and rejected above. So immediately I saw price close above this first presentation here. That was when now I entered in. I had a limit order and I got tapped in. However, price was very, very, very jagged. It found trouble, pushing through the pre-session highs, and even when the price action wasn't smooth. You can see my annotation here. So we traded to the pre-session highs and then traded back below. It multiply kept on trading to the pre-session highs. But at this point, I was like, okay, maybe today price action is just really slow, but I'm going to let it play out. Because one thing about me is whenever I put my stop loss or my take profit, I don't want to tamper with it. I just want to let price do its thing and allow price to move as it is. I don't want to be that kind of trader that's paranoid, changing my stop loss, but it does mess with your psychology, innit? So that was exactly the thing that I saw, and I was like, I'm just gonna let this trade play out, and I just accepted that day is just gonna be the day where price action is very slow, but I definitely still had confidence that price was gonna trade back to the previous session highs and higher. So which was this high and the other high from the high time frame that I showed you guys. And when we finally broke above the previous session highs, I saw price going to push, and that was when I said, okay, you know what? I'm gonna let price run, and I'm just gonna let it continue pushing above. However, when we got above it, it was like price action was really, really very slow that day. And I just made the decision, and I was like, okay, if I've gone above this point and I see price trade back below the previous session highs on a closing basis, I'm definitely gonna close this position. That is when you see that I kind of finally cancelled my position out here, and I was like, hey, I'm not willing to drag my trades through this poor price action, and I just let it go, you know. It's a trade that I took, and it wasn't the best price action that I had seen, but I'm glad that I was able to, you know, manage through it and still come out green in the day, although that's not really what matters. What matters is that I followed my trading plan as well as my edge. So that's gonna be it for now. I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Peace and love.